ethical investing. The ESG movement has gone out of control and is destroying our culture. Why I can't get myself over the edge. Brandon Gentili here. We used to have a mantra in America, no man left behind. That was a culture that permeated not only throughout the military, but the country as well. It was a culture, a mindset, an attitude. Americans would protect human life wherever and whenever we could. We have a hard time valuing life now, not only in this world, but in this country. We easily discard life. This is a rough topic, but I believe one that needs to be had for the soul. Lack of respect for life because of investing choices. If I know that I'm investing in what I'm investing is funding a company that's actively destroying culture, destroying human beings, destroying life, and destroying people in the society, then I cannot do it. I'm putting short-term profits and idolizing money over what God, what nature wants done. Me and my kids, my grandkids, are going to grow up in the long term suffering the consequences of those actions. And again, substitute nature for God. If you don't believe in God, or you're not religious enough, what does nature want done? What does God want done? The blood is on my hands if I invest in those companies that are destroying culture long term, destroying life long term, just for my own short term gain, my own short term profits. Might feel good in the short term to make 13% dividend on JEPI, JP Morgan Equity Protection something or another income fund, like some mentors of mine suggested recently. But I cannot do it because they invest in companies that are destroying culture. And again, I still like these people. I could disagree with them and have a radically different view of life, but they can still be smart in some ways. Robert Kiyosaki always says that a coin has three sides, both sides and the edge. We want to be in the edge. We want to be able to see both sides. Companies and then make decisions. Companies like Coca-Cola, who are in this fund, who go woke and hurt children short term, and then sell products that destroy people physically long term. Cannot do it. And as you can see here in the JEPI fund, we got Coca-Cola in here. We got some other companies in here too that should be looked into and what they're doing for society long term. And this is their top 10 holdings. That 13% dividend is enticing, and it entices a lot of people. And that's like one of my mentors. He is going big time into it, and that's a wonderful dividend. However, at what cost? I think that's a massive, massive problem in our culture right now. And he's a good person. I believe he's a good person. The ESG approach. These funds are considered financially in material, environmental, social, and governance factors in their analysis when they're doing them. The path to destruction is ESG. Ask the Sri Lankans about that, how that went. In 4 years, they went from their prime minister, the president, saying, I'm going to make this country rich, and had 98% ESG climate score by the World Economic Forum. And now the guy's palace is being stormed by the citizens because they can't eat. There's famine everywhere. This happened in the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s with Mao and in China and creating famine. And we see the United Nations joking about how famine and hunger makes people work harder. This is not a joke. This is red alert. This is absolute red alert. This has happened many times throughout history. These people are telegraphing through books, through articles, through videos, what it is going to happen and what is happening. And they are squeezing the middle class. Again, how Coca-Cola disguised its influence on science about sugar and health. Again, we talk about Warren Buffett all the time. There's some things he says that are great. Here's another thing. He's a massive Coca-Cola proponent. He's invested a ton of money over the years, promotes their products, drinks it on stage at a shareholder meeting. It's just promoting destruction of human beings. And I'm all for people being able to make their own choices. At the same time, you should be able to make your own choices and you're investing in what you're doing. At the same time, though, I'm not going to sit there and promote things that are actively destroying people. I'm not going to sit there and actively promote things that are killing people, destroying their well-being, destroying their mind, destroying their health, destroying their physical appearance, whatever it may be. Let's just, call me crazy. Real estate investors selling their soul. Some more examples. Many real estate or self-storage investors that I know around the country, some of their big things, people that sell courses, some big people, you can go Google them right now, and their process is to go rehab properties and then sell them to hedge funds. Go take mom and pop self-storage complexes or mom and pop multifamily, go rehab them and then sell them in a couple years to hedge funds. And to me, I think it's insane. I will not sell our single family properties, the real estate investments that we do, the single family properties that we rehab and the multifamily and the self-storage that we do, I will not sell it to hedge funds. And again, maybe it's subject to change. Many things change in life. I can't say that's going to be forever, but right now we won't. We've had opportunities to sell to hedge funds our properties. We won't do it. I will take a little bit of a loss. I will do something else. I'll find someone else, or I'll rent them out myself. I'll keep them in order to not sell them to hedge funds, people that are buying houses up away from everyone else and driving the unaffordability. Most of the companies and hedge funds like BlackRock are so far up the World Economic Forum's they can't tell what time of day it is. And again, please go look in where they invest and who their partners are. The World Economic Forum, they're on each other's sites. And the World Economic Forum, this is one of their leading partners, BlackRock, one of the biggest asset managers in the world. Short-term profits over long-term health. Everyone has their price, I guess. I'm only human. I pray that I have no price. Again, we're all human. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm just telling you what the thoughts that are overwhelming to me today, because people that I look up to, people, mentors of mine, people that I despise, they can all be the same. And there's some people that are proving to be that. And I do truly, in my heart of hearts, believe that so much of society's problem right now is short-term satisfaction, YOLO, you only live once, short-term gain over long-term satisfaction, over long-term gain. Why are there not more whistleblowers in the government? I mean, there's tens, hundreds of thousands of government employees. How are there not more whistleblowers? People on the inside saying, hey, you know what? This is insanity. What are we doing? I've seen this, this, and this. Because people are so scared. They're so scared of being left out of the system, having no money, having nothing. They don't know how to make money. So they're in government in the first place. They don't know how to make money, so they're scared of getting kicked out of their job, and they won't be able to make money anywhere else, that they are beholden. And that's where, might I add, the root, money being the root of all evil, comes from. That is what the Lord was talking about when he talked about the money being the root of all evil. That people will do insane things that go against their will, go against their beliefs, go against what they believe in order to attain that money, or to keep money, in order to not lose money. And again, this is, I'm only human, but we have to point out things as they are, because this is the only way things will grow and get better. And this is, again, it's a referendum on everyone. It's a referendum on me. It's repetition. It's reminding me to do what I believe and do what I say as well. And again, here, who's outbidding you by tens of thousands of dollars for that home of yours? A hedge fund. It's local people selling to hedge funds. It's random people on the corner selling to hedge funds. And again, you will own nothing and be happy. This is a World Economic Forum, abolishment of all private property, the Marxist Communist Manifesto. This is what the game is. If we can't see it now, we are doomed. We will be a slave, a cog in the system, a number. We'll be in a pod having the life force sucked out of us, which is already happening to a degree. As Klaus Schwab says, you own nothing, rent everything from them, from the elites, and be happy. We recently, in putting homeowners in the streets, we recently had a homeowner who came to us looking to sell his home. He needs the cash bad and is in serious debt, and still is to this day, because we would not help him. His answers made no sense when I asked him where he'd be living after we bought the home. He said maybe a hotel. I don't know. Some guys are taking care of me. I believe them. I trust them. Excuse me? No. Red flags everywhere. Fortunately, we've been doing this long enough, for nearly a decade, and we can smell things when they feel like they're going awry. Nope, cannot do it. Even though it would have been an amazing deal, 6-figure deal. Would have made us 6 figures in one deal. Couldn't do it. Is losing your part of your soul, putting someone on the street. If you had nowhere to go, I told him, so-and-so, you will be on the street if we do this deal. I cannot do that. I know you're a grown adult. At the end of the day, you have to make the decisions best for you, but I, in good conscience, this does not sound right. I cannot do this. A 6-figure deal we turned down. 6 figures. Over 6 figures in one deal, because of how good of a deal it was. And he had debts to pay off. He was going to pay off all his debts plus some. And it was still a great deal. And still going to be a good deal for both sides. However, the problem was, again, he was going to be on the streets after that. I knew he was going to be on the streets because I knew he wasn't telling me the truth. Something smelled off. I told him to go talk to people. He ended up talking to a detective in the area. And sure enough, it was a scam. What he was talking to, people that were talking to him on the back end, he wouldn't tell me who he was talking to. They told me not to tell you who I'm talking to, and all these things. So he ended up being saved. And I told him, just stay where you're at. We've tried to help him with other programs, get him other things to help get him on his feet. But is it worth losing your soul? I am confident enough in myself that I can make limitless, infinite amount of money out of nothing, out of thin air. because I've been studying this for 10 years. I've been living it for 10 years. And again, this isn't to boast, this isn't to brag, but it's a switch of mindset. It's a belief and it's a faith. Schools absolutely losing their minds. Now, I was just told recently of a client of my wife's who said that her teenage daughter has friends at school that talk about suicide all the time. Public schools, the teachers tell students not to confide in their parents about gender questions, and pills are regular topics of conversations in the hallways. Excuse me? I mean, I went to public schools. I went to a really good one. I went to a really rough one. Never once was any of that whispered about in my life. I've never heard about any of those three things in my life in school growing up 20 years ago. I can't imagine what our children are going to go through. What in the world is going on? The real question is, but what does life look like 10 to 20 years from now? What in the world are we doing, and where is life going? If kids are out in the real world working, if kids are out in the real world working and with families, the choices we make now have serious ramifications on our children and the world we grow up in. If we don't value life, then everything else becomes basically a moot point. I cannot support a culture of evil, violence, mob rule, death, secularism, postmodernism, or moral relativism. I will stand for the truth always. There is truth, and there always will be. If you stand for God's law, nature's laws, generalized or first principles, you cannot go astray, and at least not easily. I cannot invest in things just to get ahead. I'm confident enough in myself. I know that God will provide. I cannot work for someone or some entity if they're promoting a demented culture or promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. And I see this on both sides of the aisle. I see this black and white, left and right, red and blue, men and women. You see it all over. This will come back to haunt us. It already is. Look around you. Do you truly in your heart of hearts like what you see? Do you like what culture has become? Do you think we'll be better off 10 years from now with the young learning this psychosis in schools? Evil will persist if good people stand by idle and silent. Again, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, one of my favorites. Silence in the face of evil is evil itself. God will not hold us guiltless. Not to speak is to speak. Not to act is to act. From 100 years ago. Change is said to happen either at the ballot box or the ammo box. However, we can vote with our feet. We can leave the city, the state, or the country and move to places that respect people better, respect life, respect human dignity. We can vote with our wallets and give to charities or companies that are promoting true health, not woke health or culture or fake health. The short-term mindset has been handed to this short-term mindset has been handed to us by a secular culture that stands for literally nothing. If you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. This is precisely where we find ourselves now. I know where I stand. I will not, to the best of my ability, give to companies that promote division, hate, canceling, wokeness, secularism, etc. People trying to destroy our culture through fake ESG or climate incentives, initiatives, or CRT, critical race theory programs in schools. These are made up. These are completely false, fictional, Marxist programs and initiatives made up. Go look up Club of Rome. Go look at these things up. Go look up where the people who run these programs, where they're funded, the people that are funding them. I'm not going to say their names here, but go look up who was funding them. Go look where they started, where they emanated from. They all have their branched back, their roots in Marxist abolishment of private property, divide and conquer. This is the same thing. They want to root out the Western culture. They want to root out the American culture. This is not new. I am not breaking news here. It's just most people aren't taught these things in school. They're not told in the media because those two things are beholden to the Marxist agenda now, which was part of the plan 100 years ago. This is why things aren't known. So I'm not breaking any news here. It's just, again, most people aren't told that. And ESG, again, it's destroying countries. Sri Lanka, destroyed. Many other countries being destroyed now because of ESG and the fake and the made up, the factors of what ESG is and what it's doing to people. ESG is just a way to gain power and control and to gain money from you. That's it. That's all it is. It's just more marketing campaigns. If you, into really good marketing campaigns, mind you, polar bears, melting ice caps, really good marketing campaigns, really, really tug at your emotions. Smart. If you question this, please go back and read or watch any other content I've done about the ramifications of inflation and currency printing on society. This is what allows ESG. This allows the climate initiatives, the Club of Rome. Go look at that. The limits to growth, the origins of the World Economic Forum. They've talked about these using climate change and you using this. It was global cooling at first, then it was global warming, now it's climate change because they can't figure it out. They keep trying to rebrand it because nothing works, and they keep trying to do this. But they're getting close. They are dang close to taking hold and having their one world order, one world government. Again, this is happening before our eyes. This is not me. This is an existential threat. This is not me saying any of this or making this up. This is happening in real time right now. Please do not take my word for it. Please research this. Please look this up. Start with the World Economic Forum. Start Googling partnerships with who they have and what they're doing. And you go look up look up the George Gammons of the world. Go look up the Glenn Becks. Go look at these people that are doing massive documentaries, massive research on these topics. Hundreds of people doing research on these topics, books. Then go look at Klaus Schwab, The Great Narrative. They have in the thumbnail of this video, The Great Reset. They're books from them, from the leader, saying these things, what they're going to do, changing the narrative, changing words. Recession is not a recession. Woman is not a woman. They're gaslighting you. This is doublespeak. This is 1984, Brave New World, changing everything in the world. And so what you know or don't know. Our children are suffering. Our founders warned about this, by the way. Inflation, destroying our currency. And our enemies have brought it here and brought our culture to its knees because of it. And currency printing, again, allows this. This is the root of all the evil. Money is not the root of all evil, but it's the currency printing, the manipulation of the money. Our children are suffering. Suicide rates and legal and illegal drug use is through the roof. Homelessness continues to rise out of control, and the average person can barely afford gas, food, and a roof over their heads. Again, you tell me where this is headed. We are hurting too much as it is, and it is going to get worse as the cake has already been baked. And again, here we are with another article. New data underscores the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on Americans' mental health, substance abuse, and suicide. This is real. Time to get resilient. Put your money where your mouth is. Stop the elites in their tracks with their spending bills, currency printing, insane private deals they are doing in back rooms, etc. Vote them out. Bitcoin and its scarcity truly fixes the elites and puts them in their place. Much of the culture rot starts going away once the elites cannot silently steal your wealth through inflation. I realize I'm a broken record. However, this is why Bitcoin is so important. Forget trying to get wealthy off of it. That's the least interesting, least important part of Bitcoin. The best thing Bitcoin does is replace artificial with reality. It keeps the powers in check. Better than the Constitution. It's the new Constitution. It's the new Bill of Rights. I will not put future generations at risk, my grandkids, my kids, because I want a short-term gain and what felt good now. Stay very, very strong. Thank you for listening, reading. If you like this, please share. Please comment. Please like and subscribe. If you don't, please dislike it. Please tell me what you didn't like so we can help improve and grow and give you better research, give you better facts, opinions, give you just a better experience going forward. I appreciate you more than anything. Like I said, go back and watch our previous videos on all these topics about inflation, about the World Economic Forum, what they're doing, currency printing, the Federal Reserve, how central banking is destroying everything. And if we just keep giving our power and our liberties away, we will cease to exist in what you all have known and grown up in this America. I appreciate you more than anything. Again, your time is the most important asset. I appreciate it more than anything. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.